Six games is fighting for the Game of the Year about 2025, and one of them is gonna break internet soon. Let's start the video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and like the video for more gaming videos content. Drop your thoughts on comment, and we'll meet you in next video.
Why it could win. Sucker Punch's Samurai sequel could have been grown in a lab to compete at the Game Awards. It's a technically slick, cinematic, open-world action-adventure with ambitious storytelling and refined gameplay. Publisher Sony has a fantastic record at the awards, and the previous game Ghost of Tsushima was nominated too. Weaknesses. With review ratings in the mid-80s and an underwhelming response from players, Yotei hasn't quite made the splash it would need to be a major player in the Game of the Year race. And there's another, slightly sexier PS5 exclusive already in the running. DeathStranding 2. Momentum. Yotei's relative freshness plays to its advantage and sneaks it into the top 6 over older games. But its place isn't secure. Why it could win. With a rating of 90 or more on both Metacritic and OpenCritic, Bonanza has the necessary level of critical support to compete. That's not surprising in a Nintendo platformer, which counts against it. But with its destruction gameplay, resuscitation of Donkey Kong as a lead character, and status as the standard bearer for a new console, it has more novelty value than your average Mario game and makes for a more interesting story. Weaknesses. Family-oriented platformers tend to underperform in Game of the Year due to perceived immaturity and underdeveloped storylines. Astrobot bucked that trend last year, but 2 wins in a row seems unlikely. Plus, Nintendo's greatness is assumed and taken for granted. Momentum. The poorly received DK Island plus Emerald Rush DLC has dented Bonanza's reputation a little, and while its nomination seems assured, the gap between it and the top spot just keeps widening. Why it could win. Hideo Kojima's sequel to his divisive, prophetic 2019 sci-fi epic about hiking across the barren wasteland between bunkers of civilization is both grander and more palatable than the original. A technically astounding, absorbing, ambitious dad game with rave reviews published by Sony. It's got all the features of a major Game of the Year contender, and it comes from the most famous video game auteur still working. Weaknesses. Next to Clair Obscur's underdog story, DeathStranding 2 feels like the establishment choice, despite its many oddities. And the closeness between Kojima and Keeley, who had a cameo in the first game, might make some jury members feel queasy about voting for it. Momentum. There's no real change in DeathStranding 2's standing in the race, but Kojima Productions' showy anniversary celebrations at Tokyo Game Show and trailer for follow-up OD have only served to burnish the auteur's reputation. Why it could win. Hades 2 is the best-reviewed new game of the year, with ratings of 95 on Metacritic and 94 on OpenCritic after it came out of early access in September. The original Hades won many individual publications' Game of the Year awards in 2020, and was only thwarted at the Game Awards by The Last of Us Part 2, a perceived injustice some on the jury may be keen to correct. Weaknesses. After over a year in early access, Hades 2 is a known quantity, and that's before you consider that it's a sequel. Its greatness may be taken for granted by the jury. It's also not quite as big a popular hit as its stellar reputation with critics and enthusiasts might suggest. Finally, as an action roguelike, it's quite far outside the jury's favored genres. Momentum. Hades 2's critical reception could hardly be better, but some fans aren't so delighted with the 1.0 release, and it is perhaps too close to the original to inspire the jury. Silksong has more novelty.
Death to Kronos.
Why it could win. Team Cherry's long-awaited follow-up to its 2017 indie hit could well clean up at the Game Awards, in part because the original didn't make much of an impression there, and the jury will be keen to retrospectively reward it. Critics mostly adore it. It seems to have sold incredibly well, and its release was a real event that dominated the conversation for weeks. Weaknesses? Silksong is very hard, which has divided some critics but is even more likely to divide the jury, which doesn't just stop at those members of the media who had to push through and review it. Many players bounce off the game or feel infuriated by it, and the surrounding discourse has been a bit fractious. Momentum. No other games in 2025 have made as big a splash as Silksong, and it's unlikely that any others will. The sensation of its release and the game's large, mysterious, and difficult nature are keeping it in the conversation over and above more known quantities like Hades 2. Why it could win. A critically acclaimed role-playing game, strong on storytelling and performance, thematically resonant, but also fun, with slick production values and shiny graphics. This is the stuff Game of the Year winners are made of. It's an astonishing achievement from the relatively small debut team at Sandfall Interactive, which only adds to its cachet. The somewhat similar metaphor, Refantasio was very strong in 2024. Expedition 33 is looking hard to beat. Weaknesses. While it's a minor hit, enough people need to play Expedition 33, especially among the critical community, to keep it in the conversation for more than 6 months. Game Pass will help, but is it really big enough to win? Momentum Clair Obscur is a complete package. People are still playing and talking about it, and prediction markets are overwhelmingly betting on its success. It's very secure in the top spot.
Expedition 33.
That's the Game of the Year 2025 lineup, guys. Now, tell me in the comment who's winning and who is not. Hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more gaming content like this. Till then, signing off. Bye.